Cleopatra, the legendary queen of ancient Egypt, has remained a mystery for thousands of years, as has her last burial place. But 1,600 years after her death, May scholars have discovered a clue that would lead not only to her grave, but also to Mark Antony's. Archaeologists may have done precisely that almost 20 years after study started. Join us as we discover more about the evidence that are pointing archaeologists towards the direction of Cleopatra's ultimate resting place. What do we know about Cleopatra's last days? Plutarch, an ancient Greek writer, was among the first to record Cleopatra's death and burial with her husband, Roman commander Mark Antony. Antony died on the day Augustus and his Roman armies entered Egypt and conquered Alexandria, according to his history. Cleopatra stood by his side as he drew his last breath before burying him in her tomb. After 2 weeks, Cleopatra went to the tomb to make sacrifices and pour libations with her own hands, and she too died. We don't know how it occurred, but according to common myth, she was bitten by an asp. When she died, her corpse was interred in the mausoleum adjacent to her husband's. Unfortunately, the family faced further tragedy in the days that followed. The Roman armies executed Antony's son, Marcus Antonius Antilles, and Cleopatra's son, Ptolemy XV Caesar. It's likely that their remains were interred with their parents in the mausoleum, but we don't know for sure. Could researchers have found Cleopatra's mausoleum? Could researchers have made a breakthrough in their decade-long quest for the Egyptian queen? It's conceivable. People are calling the finding of 2 mummies dating back to Cleopatra's period at Taposiris Magna a sensation. Despite the fact that the tomb had been shut for 2,000 years, the mummies were wrapped with gold leaf, which could only be afforded by the wealthy and powerful. This has led some academics to conclude that these people may have even known Cleopatra herself. The mummies are in extremely bad form due to water damage, but they were nonetheless amazing back in the day. They were recognized as a guy and a woman after being x-rayed. What's truly intriguing is that no one has been able to discover the tomb of any Ptolemaic pharaoh, including Cleopatra, despite decades of searching. So this finding is significant. Dr. Kathleen Martinez has been organizing excavations at Taposiris Magna for over 14 years, and nothing has stopped her from her mission, since she is certain Cleopatra's tomb will be discovered there. However, just a tiny portion of the huge site has been examined so far. Researchers discovered a burial chamber holding 2 mummies after discovering the place was tied to the Queen of Egypt. They cautiously lifted a limestone slab with a chisel and hammer and obtained a sight of the mummies through a little hole. Why is this finding so crucial in history? For years, researchers have been obsessed with Cleopatra's lost tomb, and for some reason, no one has given up hope of discovering her. It's incredible to believe that the quest for her tomb started over 20 years ago, and archaeologists from the University of Santo Domingo have poured their hearts and souls into locating it, and it seems that their perseverance has finally paid off. The Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities has revealed the discovery of a 1305-meter tunnel 13 meters below ground level, which architectural experts view as an engineering wonder. The excavation revealed the site of a massive religious complex comprising 3 shrines and a holy lake. Over 1,500 artifacts have also been discovered, including busts, golden pieces, sculptures, and a vast collection of coins representing Alexander the Great, Queen Cleopatra, and the Ptolemies. The most significant finding was an elaborate network of tunnels leading to the Mediterranean Sea and submerged constructions. This expedition started in 2005, but scholars have stayed committed to finding out where the queen is buried. But don't mistake this yearning for obsession. The reason they're so desperate to discover her is straightforward. Cleopatra was an amazing historical figure who fell prey to Roman propaganda aimed at distorting her image. She was well educated and likely one of the first women to study properly at the Alexandria Museum. This was unusual at the time, but she made certain she was present in the cultural center of her period. But it's her last moments before death, when she lets an asp attack her after Mark Antony dies in her arms, that make her a sad figure. How is the digging doing overall? The search for Cleopatra's tomb was initiated by Zahi Hawass and his fellow archaeologists within the Taposiris Magna Temple. They began by excavating both inside and outside of the temple, where they discovered a variety of architectural components dispersed over many levels. On the ground level, things were looking up. The team was able to find the foundations of the limestone chamber, which were placed parallel to the north wall. Things were looking well. In each of the rooms, the flooring was also made of limestone and had an enclosed appearance. They also discovered a jug made of clay that had been used for blessings and contained oil that had been donated by the church. There were a great number of these kinds of containers found, and quite a few of them had seals with Greek inscriptions on them. They also found a statue of a king or queen without its head, hidden behind one of the walls of the structure. The team eventually reached the second floor as the search continued to advance. They identified architectural elements dating back to the late Roman era at that location. Is it possible that this structure was built during the reign of Cleopatra? This level had a structure in the shape of a rectangle, and inside that structure were 3 rooms of varied sizes. Access to this level was provided via a staircase. A fresh entrance was discovered at the easternmost point of the building, which led to a hallway that was flanked on each side by 2 small chambers. The chambers were separated by a tunnel that resulted in a door entry to another vast space. Nevertheless, we are unsure as to what the chamber's intended use was. It is believed that the person in charge of the Roman camp resided in this room when it was initially constructed. The third level, which was located to the west of the Roman villa, was then found by the archaeologists. When the team found 5 steps made of limestone leading to a courthouse, they made another discovery of limestone. This time, the stairs led to a courthouse. On the 4th level are the ruins of buildings that were most likely inhabited at some point by Ptolemaic temple priests. These dwellings are thought to have been used by the priests. This area also featured a group of furnaces, one of which had a stellar that had 10 lines of Greek inscription uncovered in front of it. This location also contained a complex of furnaces. During the course of the excavations, a number of architectural components were uncovered both within and outside of the temple. In addition to this, it uncovered tunnels that led to other discoveries, such as bones and antiques dating back to the Ptolemaic and Roman times. It is also important to note that the foundation of the temple looked like a rectangular construction, and it is possible that this structure served as a chapel for the deities associated with the temple. They followed a path that went from an altar at the building's westernmost point to the sanctuary, where they found the Isis chapel. In addition to it, they found the arm of a statue of Apis. This suggested that the temple was dedicated to Osiris, Isis, and Horus, the holy trinity of Egyptian mythology. This temple was lavishly decorated with adornments, which showed that it was completely committed to the gods that Cleopatra liked so much. Thank you for delving into the fascinating world of ancient Egypt and the enigmatic tomb of Cleopatra with us. If you're as captivated by history and mysteries as we are, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell for more incredible discoveries and adventures. Stay tuned for the truth about the pyramids and other astonishing revelations. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep unlocking the secrets of our past.